Good evening. It's April 14th, 2025. This is Monday of Holy Week. And it's my pleasure and honor to speaking with World War II humble hero, Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, weather.
You're looking nice with a new sweater.
New sweater, yeah.
Yeah, and I heard you had a special visitor today.
Yeah.
Who was that?
A diaper.
Yeah, you had a beautiful visitor, your great-granddaughter.
But she's sick.
Yeah, she's got a bad cold.
Yes, but she's stuffed up. She's stuffed up.
Well, I hope she's going to CBS and getting a few things. I hope tomorrow she's better, but she's a tough kid, and she's your great-granddaughter, and it's about, she visits all the time. Actually, it's about the only one we could think that visits you all the time. What a wonderful person. I guess when you're Christocentric and not egocentric, you look at the world differently. You're not so selfish. You want to share life and make others' life happy. And that's what she does. So, how are you feeling today?
Good, I'm feeling good.
We're on chapter 4, the second time around, of Mr. Jeckovich's book. And it's basically, how many pages?
849.
It's basically a book to let the younger guys in the earlier generations to have a little roadmap, to have a little bit easier life. And we talk about many subjects on it, and basically the rules of life. And many of them that are taken from this book are: protect your peace at all cost. Learn to enjoy your own company, very important. Don't beg for love, respect, or attention. Never do that. Can't chase love. Discipline beats motivation. You won't always get closure, so move on anyways. Many things you won't get closure on. Save more than you spend. Isn't that a great thing? Save more than you spend. You grew up during the Great Depression, so those words are very powerful. Save more than you spend. How was your life affected during the Great Depression?
Well, I was young. I didn't affect it that. I didn't feel that much, but my parents took care of us very good.
Took care of you quite well, yeah. Health is wealth. There we go. Health is wealth. Take care of your body. Mr. Jeckovich is knocking on the door of 100. He'll be 100 this year. He never smoked, never drank. He jogged for 80 years and never took a prescription, never took a vitamin. And he's in fine health. He reads 3 newspapers every morning, not even wearing glasses. So he's doing quite well, right?
Yeah.
You're in pretty good shape, yeah. Let's see a couple more notes we pulled out of this book. Health is wealth, yeah. Take care of your body. Mr. Jeckovich sometimes says he's got 2 doctors, his left leg and right leg. You keep moving, you'll have abundant health. Not everyone deserves access to you. Failures are lessons in disguise, yeah. How do you know good? You fail. You must fail to learn how to do it right. You try to do something, you have 10 failures. You're just 10 different ways you're trying to do that, whatever you're doing right, and 11th time will probably work. So failures are lessons in disguise. Be kind, but set boundaries. Chase purpose, not just money. So when you're doing things, chase a purpose, chase a goal, not money. Money will come. Money will come if you're doing the right thing. Let actions speak louder than words. Stay humble, no matter how high you rise. Like we refer to Mr. Jeckovich as a humble hero, because he fought during the bloodiest and dirtiest wars during World War II. And it wasn't up to 2 or 3 years ago we found out he was in combat. Combat was a rough job, right?
Yeah.
We started off in World War II with 16,400,000 young men and women, and now we're down to less than 6,000 actual combat veterans, and we're losing them at a rate of 150 per day. 150 per day. So do the math. So if you have any questions for Mr. Jeckovich, his mind is like a library. He'll be glad to answer them for you. Simply text 407-366-0000. Just text Mr. Jeckovich at 407 366-0000. Yeah, choose growth over comfort. And very important, never forget where you came from. Never forget where you came from. Where were you born, Mr. Jeckovich?
Niagara Falls, New York.
You lived all your life there, practically,
Yeah.
right? How long have you been retired for?
Since 1980.
45 years almost.
Yeah.
Looks like you had a pretty damn good retirement, right?
Yeah.
And also you could ask Mr. Jeckovich about business, World War II, life in general, and also marriage. Mr. Jeckovich was married for how long?
69 years.
69 years.
Damn it.
What happened?
I hit my stupid hand on this.
You want me to stop the recording?
No, go ahead.
He was married for 69 long years. He married Delphine Stulak. They went to the Basilica in Tonawanda, and he asked her for her hand in marriage. She accepted, and then he walked up to the altar of the Roman Catholic Basilica, and they both shared a prayer asking for a long and happy marriage. How'd that work out?
69 years.
Prayer was answered. Prayer was answered. And unfortunately, right now in Florida, we have 90,000 divorces. And unfortunately, many of those are due to money issues.
Yeah, money, yeah.
Money issues. It's so expensive to live. Hard to make a living. Hard to pay your bills. And you know, the cost of housing, to maintain housing, and now it's in Florida, it's getting almost as expensive as California.
Yeah.
Real estate taxes are through the roof.
Yeah, they're gonna jacket it up.
Way high. You'd be lucky if you even could buy homeowners insurance, because most companies won't even sell you homeowners insurance. If your house is not 2013 and newer, they won't sell you insurance. It's got to be 2013 and newer. That's the major insurance companies. And if your house is on the beach side, they have nothing to do with you. They won't insure
Yeah.
you. So between the crazy cost,
Or mobile homes,
no, right, between the crazy cost of real estate taxes through the roof and homeowners insurance through the roof, it's almost cost as much money to live in Florida as it does in California.
Yeah.
It got to be very, very expensive. So many people are finding alternative states to move to because it is so expensive for most people, especially retirees, to move here. And whatever you do, do not ever, under any circumstances, buy a condominium 3 stories or taller, because there's so many regulations on it, you won't like it. They have to have reserve funds, and most of them don't have reserve funds, and they have to have special assessments one after another. Sunrise condominiums in South Florida just had special assessments of over $100,000, and that's not uncommon. So stay away from condominiums, and if you can, stay away from HOAs. They'll make your life miserable. You spend a lot of money on them, and it really is not worth it. It's really not worth it. So, would you like to read your book? You want me
No,
to
go ahead,
read
read it, Dave, go ahead.
it? In order to get my laptop, to get to your book, I'll need your dog tag number.
420965.
All right, that's the passcode. As I said, this is the second time around in your book. We're on chapter 4. Mr. Jeckovich is still on basic training. He's in Evansville, Indiana, and he has met a couple of nice girls right down the road in Owensboro,
Yeah.
Kentucky. So let me pick up where we left off. I told her I would call her, this is Ann Mahaney, in several days and look forward to seeing her again. Okay. And then, when you're getting back to camp, our section leader, Sergeant Flood, would receive instructions and a map coordinates to reach the intended objective, and the 2 squads in the section will assist him. We did not arrive back in camp until much of the 2,400 hours.
19.
I was disappointed that I could not contact Ann since several days have lapsed after that Sunday of our first meeting. After we had showered and put on dry clothes, there was a hot meal at the mess hall and had plenty of hot coffee and hot chocolate and chocolate cake. So the Army really gave you some good food.
Oh, yeah. They take her here. They take her here.
Yeah. We did not report for duty until 1,200 hours the next day. As I rested in my bunk, half asleep, I attempted to recall the mental images of Ann as I remembered her the last time I saw her. This was Tuesday already, and I have not contacted Ann yet, and I began to wonder if she thought I had forgotten her. Or worse yet, I did not have any real intentions of calling her back at all. Was this going to be another one of my mainly good intentions with negative results, where nothing really happens or I come out the worse for it? I hoped that this would not be the outcome of this encounter, so I wanted to be much more than that. We had gone to the rifle range that afternoon and were due back in camp before retreat. I was not doing too well with my issued weapon, a carbine, and the range instructor was losing his patience with me. Everyone had to qualify with his TO weapon before the day was over. I finally decided to concentrate on the weapon and shot it up well enough to make marksman. So you got a marksman badge yet,
Yeah.
For my reward for shooting well, I was assigned to pulling targets the rest of the day. What consisted of was being in a damp concrete bunker with rifle shots going overhead, marking the targets as individual soldiers shot at the particular target I controlled. I would pull the target similar to pulling down a large window shade. So you're in a bunker when they're shooting over your head.
Yeah.
Were you well protected in the bunker?
Oh, yeah, you're below it, yeah.
It must have been monotonous, all those shells going over your head.
Well, you changed over for a while. You didn't stay there that long.
All right. After chow, I got my first chance to call Ann. I quickly rushed to the PX and into the bank of public phones to place a call before it got too busy and everyone calling out. I heard the phone ringing at the end and the other receiver was picked up. What the heck is going on? And the other receiver was picked up. A strange voice I had not heard before answered the phone. It was Ann's mother.
Yeah.
She informed me in a pleasant voice and manner that Ann was in school at 2,100 hours, and I could reach her some time after that. I was disappointed and decided to wait to 2,130 hours to call again. The PX closed at 2,200 hours and lights out at 2,300 hours, so I had plenty of time. Smith was at the PX with a few of his buddies from the platoon, and I could see that he was drinking and getting boisterous. So Smith was drinking.
Yeah.
He's the one you went to visit his girlfriend with, right?
Yeah.
Boy, he's a hellraiser then, right?
Yeah.
So he never made it to combat, right?
No.
He asked me if I wanted to go in town this weekend and pick up a couple girls. I thought he had this girlfriend full time.
Yeah, they say we're running back and forth, picking her up and everything.
Oh, wow. And have a good time. I did not answer him. Instead, I asked him how Betsy and Elaine were doing. He mumbled something and could hurt and stumbled over to the next table. I was glad I did not want to get into a lengthy conversation about his bad luck, how he missed Betsy. It was a little past 21:30, and I phoned Ann again. She answered the phone, and I was relieved that I finally got in touch with her. She sounded great, and I had that tingling sensation again just listening to her voice. Minutes, please. I told her that I would see her again this weekend, and that if she did not have anything planned.
14.
She remarked that she did not, and was hoping that I would call her, and was looking forward to seeing her again, me again. I mentioned that I was sure of getting another weekend pass, and the only problem would be if I got stuck of any kind of weekend duty. So it's easy to get stuck on weekend duty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She said she understood and that she would meet me at the bus station. I said that would be great and that I expected to be out about 1330 to 1400 hours Saturday afternoon. Also then, if she could not make it for Sunday, I would call her. Also, if I could not make it for Sunday, I would call her. She understood and then chatted a little more and said goodbye. I was elated. Fortune was smiling down on me once again. I made a special route out of PX to avoid Smith as he was getting louder and louder, and I did not want to be in the middle of that scene. So Smith was drinking.
Yeah.
Did they allow the soldiers to drink?
Oh, yeah.
On base?
On base, but the orderly, they throw it in the brig.
Did he get thrown in the
And
brig?
the MPs running all over.
Wow. Wow. I did not seek his friendship, nor did I want it. I tried to avoid him as much as possible and still not offend him directly. I did not have anything in common with him, and I certainly did not condone his behavior, drunk or sober. I leaned more towards Larson and Lane, but then again, that was not the most desirable relationship. For one, they were much older than I, and secondly, they went into their separate ways, and we would not try anything but their own cautious, prudent perception. I liked them, but I would much rather be with Anne and all that entailed. It was close to lights out as I washed up and got ready for bed. I thought I only had to sweat out Friday and Saturday morning inspection and the parade exclusion from any weekend duty, plus getting another weekend pass. So things are looking pretty good. You'll get that pass.
Yeah.
That was not too bad. I felt confident that I could overcome these minor obstacles. I was more in an exuberant mood and nothing would dissuade me otherwise. The very thought of seeing Anne once again made everything and everyone appear insignificant and trivial. Friday, luckily, was an uneventful day with physical training and close order drill in the morning and a few lectures and classes in the afternoon. I went to the orderly room to put in for my weekend pass, and T5 Eckert. How was T5 Eckert?
Yeah.
Was he a good guy?
Yeah, smart ass.
Smart ass?
Yeah.
Like, what were some of the things he would do?
Yeah.
What would he do?
What?
What would T5 Eckert do to be a smart ass?
He's a CQ.
You what?
He's a CQ, charge of quarters.
Oh, okay. Was there to sign up. He remarked somewhat sarcastically that I had a pass last weekend and asked if I had something of interest going on in town. I gave him a little sheepish smile, and said I might have. I did not want to alienate myself from him, as also he had a hand in preparing the daily duty roster for the weekend, so he could have gave you duty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I got some text questions. Do you feel like answering them? Or you want me to
Go ahead,
continue reading?
yeah.
Continue reading or answer?
Go ahead.
I got them right here, written down in this middle here. Did you ever break the law as a youth?
Say again?
Did you ever break the law as a youth?
No.
What were your dreams as a teenager?
One of my dreams as a teenager,
Yeah.
I was doing a job. I said, "Oh, I do this job great at home with my father."
Okay. What were your hobbies or special interests as a teenager or as a kid?
Woodworking.
Woodworking. Many people in the Falls and many people in the Army were gambling. Did you ever gamble?
No,
Would you ever want to gamble?
no.
No interest, right?
No interest.
You're a very smart man. What were the greatest hardships you endured as a child?
As a child,
What were your greatest hardships?
well, my father died.
And how old was your father?
43.
Mr. Jeckovich's father's name was Marion Jeckovich. He immigrated legally from Russia, a very rough and poor section of Russia. He came through Ellis Island and he worked 3 different jobs to give his family a better life. He actually did great work, not like the immigrants today. The immigrants today don't come here to work. They come here to work the system.
Yeah.
Work the system. Mr. Jeckovich, his father, was a very honorable man. He did not work the system. He worked very hard with 3 different jobs. And when Mr. Jeckovich was just a young boy, his father was making cement and died of a heart attack. How did you find out that your father died?
The police kept knocking on the door. 8 o'clock says your father got hurt. He's in the hospital.
Did they take you in a patrol car?
It took me, dropped me off the front door, and I went in.
They didn't even escort you in the building?
No.
They just says, here's the hospital, go.
No.
And when you walked in, you asked the receptionist of the hospital, and what'd she say to you?
She said, "I'll take you downstairs."
Wasn't you getting worried now?
I said, "Why am I going downstairs?"
You thought he might have hurt his ankle or
Yeah.
wrist, and you'd go to the 2nd floor
Yeah.
and try to cheer him up. So you went downstairs. Where was that?
That was the morgue.
And then what did they ask you to do of an 11-year-old boy?
They showed me where my father was. He's laying out stretched out. His eyes were closed. He's passed out. He's dead.
Was his eyes closed?
His eyes were closed. There was spots of cement on his pants and on his face.
So he had a little cement on him.
Yeah.
He was doing cement work.
Yeah.
And did they ask you to do what then?
Go through his pockets.
An 11-year-old boy going through the pockets of a deceased. And what did you find in those pockets?
I found a can of that Quetzal with tobacco, those little pieces of paper they wrap it in. I found the keys for the house,
Change?
some change, a couple of quarters, and that was it.
How about matches?
Yeah, we had matches, those striker matches.
Yeah. So what you heard now is the beginning of the book. Their mother's sons. This young man, John J. Jeckovich, 11, 12, his father died of a massive heart attack working 3 jobs to try to get his family a better life than he had. He came here to work in the United States. He came here to give in the United States. Like compared to the illegal aliens today, they come to work the system, work the system. So now the book began. Mr. Jeckovich was the sole provider of his mother from age 11 to her demise at when she was 89 years old. Mr. Jeckovich has made many sacrifices
6 minutes.
in caring for his mother. One might have been very life-threatening, and that's when he didn't enlist, right?
Right.
Why did you not enlist?
Well, I wanted to stay with my mother longer.
So by waiting, Mr. Jeckovich waiting to be drafted, he was able to spend more time with his mother, to care for his mother. But here's the trade-off. When you enlist, you can get a pretty easy job, right?
But usually, yeah.
Usually. Well, what did your brother do? Driving Jeeps? Tell us about that.
They drive a Jeep, teaching GIs how to drive a Jeep.
Was he some type of expert driver?
No, he ran into a stupid fire hydrant one
He
time.
ran into a fire hydrant, so he's awarded the job to stay in the United States and teach youngsters how to drive Jeeps.
Yeah.
So those are the type of jobs you might get if you volunteer, if you enlist. But if you get drafted, like he waited to the bitter end, you're going to be for sure to be in combat on the front line. So that was a great sacrifice. And during World War II, Mr. Jeckovich was beat up, shot, bombed, dirty bomb. He still has shrapnel in his leg, hit by a sniper, stabbed, and trench foot and frostbite. Are you still suffering from the frostbite?
Frostbite, I got it every night, this frostbite.
80 years later, the suffering continues from frostbite. The reason why Mr. Jeckovich was in the Battle of the Bulge and many of those related battles there, and that was the coldest winter of record. The coldest winter of record. Did you have proper winter gear?
No, we had summer clothes on it. There were boots with the buckles on I used to wear when I was a kid.
Who had the proper winter gear?
Probably rear echelon.
The rear echelon are people that work behind the scenes.
They were sending it to us, but they had taped it and they kept it there.
Yeah. They work behind the scenes, typing, sending out products, sending out food, and they kept all the great big heavy boots and coats and parkas, long johns and everything under the sun, but the guys on the front line, the teenage boys in the front line, they didn't have any winter clothes.
No. For a while. Till they
But then later he got them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did not have the winter clothes. Well, that's an interesting point. Mr. Jeckovich, do you think society has changed since you're a youth in 1920s?
Security for what?
You think society has changed, culture has changed from when you're a boy to now?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah,
In
yeah.
which way?
For the worst.
For the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they call this guy the greatest generation. The greatest generation. Was alcohol and drugs a part of your youth?
No.
No.
2.5.
2.5. Did you have any childhood heroes?
Sounds of what?
Childhood heroes?
Ills?
Did you have any, when you were a little boy, did you have any childhood heroes? Heroes.
Oh, in the movies or what?
Yeah.
Well, that one movie was Grand Central Station.
Okay. So you went to a lot of movies, but weren't you an usher?
I was an usher too.
Yeah, tell us how the usher, what type of work did you do as an usher?
Had to go down, get the seats, go down the aisle, check the seats, if they're empty seats, flash your light, how many sizes of the seats, how many some seats are there, and they come bring them down there.
So that's how busy movie theaters were then.
Yeah.
They needed ushers.
Especially on weekends.
Weekends were extremely
They
busy.
put the ropes up and everything.
No kidding. And where was those movie theaters located?
Downtown. We had Strand Canterbury down at East Falls.
And did two Greek brothers own them?
Yeah.
And was there diagonal parking then?
Yeah.
Wow. Minutes?
1.
So what do you remember of the downtown area? What did you tell us about the stores?
The downtown area was nice. It was clean. A lot of orderly houses there. Sears and Roebuck's on one side of the street. Montgomery Ward's is on the other side of the street.
A lot of shoppers.
Yeah.
What else do you remember? Do you remember any of the smaller stores?
Well, I remember the soda fountain they had there. I remember the automobile store there selling cars, tires and that.
Do you remember Gents?
I remember Gents was there. Montgomery Ward, J. and Adams was there.
Do you remember Beers?
Beers was there.
Do you remember SS Kresge?
SS Kresge's, yeah.
Your mother worked there.
Yeah, and I worked there for a while as
Tell
a
us
stock
what you
boy.
did there.
I was a stock boy.
And what'd your mother do there?
She was the cook downstairs.
15 seconds.
She was a pretty good cook there, right?
Yeah.
And she gave you a nice lunch every day?
Yeah. Well, when I came in after school, yeah.
Oh, that was nice.
But I had to eat down in the cellar. I couldn't go upstairs.